So, for my world history topic, I chose the French Revolution. And here are all the questions. The first question is, who made up the first, second, and third estate, and who paid the most taxes? Well, the first estate was made up by the clergy and the rich people. They didn't have to pay taxes, even though they were the richest. And the second estate was made up of the middle class people. They were considered wealthy and didn't have to pay a lot of taxes either. The third estate was made up of all the poor farmers. They had to pay the most money, even though they were all poor. They made up 97% of the population, and they still were poor. The next question is, what was the start of the French Revolution? Well, the French Revolution started when the poor farmers realized that they were 97% of the population, and they were the majority, so it would be easy to take over the other 3% of the wealthy people. And they took over because they had to pay the most taxes, even though the other 3% were the richest and didn't have to pay any taxes. So they easily overtook the wealthy and killed most of the wealthy people. The next question is, what was this Reign of Terror? Well, the Reign of Terror was the time when all the wealthy people were being killed by the poor people. The guillotine was also invented during this time because so many people were being killed that they had to find easier ways to kill them. And the guillotine they thought the guillotine would be less painful when they killed people because they would cut their head off and it would take 2 seconds for them to die. The poor people would easily overtake the rich people and would kill them in public as entertainment. They would also march up and down the streets with the heads of kings on pikes. The next question is, how did the Reign of Terror end? Well, so many people were being killed that they decided that they had to kill more people for some reason. So they would just kill anyone who didn't agree with the leader of the Reign of Terror, even though that most of the people were being killed were poor now because they already killed most of the rich people. So the poor people had enough of this and they decided to kill the leader of the Reign of Terror. And the last question is, what was the Directory and why was it important? Well, the poor people didn't want to be ruled by wealthy people anymore, so they made up a new form of government. Instead of having the wealthy people be in charge, the Directory was a type of democracy. There would be 5 people in charge for a year, and when the year ended, the people would vote out one of the five leaders in the Directory, and then they would vote a new person in the old person's place. And that's the end of all the questions.